Sealed and graded video games. Should you still be using auctions? It's not really a one-size-fits-all type of answer, so let's talk about it. Thank you to every single Patreon who helps support the channel, as well as the YouTube members. I can't do it without you guys. Hit the like button and let's get into it. So as we've seen in recent weeks, recent months, auction prices are volatile, to say the least. And right now, in this environment, most of the transactions in sealed and graded games do take place in auctions. But you have to remember that it wasn't always like this at all. If we go back before the big pump, before the everything bubble, auctions made up maybe 10 to 20% of the marketplace. If you had sealed video games, if you had graded video games, auctions weren't really even something you were considering. You would go to eBay, let it sit up there as a buy it now with the best offer. You would go to Instagram, Facebook groups, you might transact on Nintendo Age, but almost everything was done via fixed prices. Sales were pretty slow for the most part, unless you were really underselling something, but most people didn't use or trust the auction format. For the most part, I didn't even treat eBay as an auction platform. I could probably count on my fingers the number of times I ran an open auction for a graded video game. Enter in private auction houses, enter in 2019, 2020, the insane increases in demand, and all of a sudden, auctions are becoming the norm. When we have so much speculation, so much demand, so many eyes on the hobby, it's very safe to run auctions. People are clamoring over themselves to try and pay for these items, so why not run them at auction, right? Everyone's gonna outbid everyone anyway. If you were to list something as a buy it now with an oboe in 2019, 2020, even early 2021, it would probably just get purchased before they even make an offer. Buy it now listings were going like this if it was even anywhere in the realm of the market price. Of course, these private auction houses also thrive on the auction format. So as the graded game hobby started growing, as prices started rising, all the supply of graded video games started getting pushed to these private auction houses. Heritage, Golden, Certified Link, PWCC just entered in. Hakes just had an auction. There's multiple of these private auction houses now that exclusively run on auctions. And that was fantastic during the pump phase because, like I said, the amount of eyes on the hobby ensured that every single item would either hit market comps or sell for more. And so for a 2-3 year period, auctions became the norm. The exact same way that auctions led to a pump because people wanted to keep paying more and more over each other, auctions are also going to lead to a slide as people don't want to pay that price. They'll wait for the next one to come up for auction because an auction always leads to a guaranteed sale. It always leads to a new market comp, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. Even in this current environment, it's not necessarily bad to choose the auction format. And in some cases, it's still really good. Some shit still sells really strong at auction. May I point to the 2 Mario Bros that sold at Heritage at the Signature? Neither of those would have found a private sale, fixed price sale. It wouldn't have happened. Those prices, along with many other sale prices that we still see take place at auction, are only obtainable via auction. For every person that might have something sell too low at auction, and I am no exception. I've had things sell at auction where I'm like, I would probably just rather retain rather than honor that sale. But on the other side of all of those low sales are a ton of sales that are still only applicable via auction. You used to be able to send literally anything to auction. Now we have to be a lot more selective about what games we're sending to auction. What is the grade on the game you're sending? Is it a pretty common game and a pretty bad grade? You might not want to auction that. Is it a great game but still in a pretty low grade? You might not want to auction that. The market and the new supply that exists now needs to find an equilibrium. We need to find a balance between the auction and fixed prices again. And remember, with the auction route, you do guarantee a sale, which is also huge. A lot of things simply might not ever sell as a buy it now on eBay or private, Facebook, Instagram. Wherever you personally want to go try and sell something, you simply might not be able to sell it as a buy it now listing. So even if you're unhappy with the end price that an auction does bring in this current environment, there's also no guarantee that you'd be able to sell it for a fixed price on eBay or privately that's higher than what you got for auction, or at least a meaningful amount. If it sells for 100 via auction and you could have gotten 130 as a buy it now, does it really matter? You got the guaranteed sale, you have the guaranteed liquidity, you're done with it. And that's one of the biggest considerations you should make. Do you want the guaranteed liquidity? Do you need the liquidity out of the sale of your item? There's a ton of stuff now that I simply don't want to sell for the price that it's going for. I will simply hold on to it. I do not need the liquidity right now. I don't have a cash flow crunch. I'm more happy to simply hold, wait, and see what happens. Depending on your own financial situation, you might not have that luxury available to you. If there is stuff you literally need to sell, if you need cash flow, you can still run stuff at auction. The last thing I want you to consider about this is that if you do not send common items, low-grade items, if you choose to not send these items to auction, it's very possible that someone else will come in and send those items to auction, which then may lead to lower comps existing and making it even harder for you to sell your item via fixed price. We are still seeing a glut of supply hit the market. We are still seeing people dumping stuff. So if you have something that just isn't that desirable, probably doesn't have that great of future prospects, selling it now via auction still might not be a bad choice, because if you decide to hold, it's fully possible that other people will come in, undercut you, and take that liquidity out of the market. Think about the absolute wasteland that currently exists on eBay that is fixed price, buy it now, offer, listing. There's an endless amount of them. A lot of them will simply never sell. If you actually want to sell stuff, you should still consider auctions, even in a down environment. I'm personally going to be running less auctions moving forward, but that doesn't mean I'm going to eliminate them entirely. Certain items are still going to pop at auction. Certain items are still best put to open auction. You simply can't put everything to auction anymore. Hopefully you liked today's chat. Hopefully it gave you something to think about. Hit the like button before you go. Subscribe if you want to see more sealed and graded game content, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.